But it's our pleasure to welcome the Bulldogs coach Cameron Ciraldo to the program. 12th on the ladder at the moment, 3 wins, 4 losses, as I mentioned, a bye this week. But you would have to say an improved performance from the Doggies in 2024. As I said, it's great to have him on the program. G'day, Cameron.
Hi, Jimmy. Thanks for having me, mate.
Absolute pleasure. What do you make your assessment of the season thus far, Cameron?
Really happy with our consistency around our effort in particular. We'd definitely like to be, a couple more wins ahead of where we are, because we put ourselves into some really good positions to win games and probably just missed some moments late in games. But as far as improvement I've seen across the squad and team, I'm really happy with where it's tracking, and I feel like we've got better every week as well. So I don't know if you're ever happy as a coach with where you're at, but I can see a lot of things that I'm liking in our team.
Are those wins and there was a couple of close ones, South Sydney Rabbitohs, the Melbourne Storm, and is as much a part of getting the win to confirm what it is that you're doing is the right thing and build the confidence of the players as it is the win itself, Cameron?
I think definitely sometimes that's the case, but I feel like we've done a really good job as a club, in particular our staff, around showing the players all the positive things they're doing instead of worrying too much about the outcome and wins and losses. I think the players have been able to see that there's stuff we're improving and stuff we're doing really well in games, and our processes are good. And I think the boys have got a lot of belief through that, even when we haven't won games. And I was really excited on the weekend that we were able to go out there and get the result after what was a pretty disappointing finish in Melbourne.
Is there any part of your game that you're most happy with? I'm looking at some defensive statistics that are coming out and what the Bulldogs are doing and how much ground they're giving up on play 2 and 3 and 4, and it's second best in the league. The best, probably won't surprise people, is the Panthers, where you used to coach. Is there any particular part of the game that you're most happy with, Cameron?
Oh, definitely our defence and our improvement around that. We spent a lot of time on it over the preseason, and in particular last year we did as well, but just weren't seeing the results. And I think the connection the boys have made off the field and how much they're enjoying each other's company, that's showing out in our defence. But all the other parts of our game are also helping us with our defence. Our last plays, I thought, our kicking game at times has been really good, especially on the weekend. I thought it was a real elite level, and just the way we're attacking as well, I think, is helping our defence. We're asking plenty of questions of the opposition. We're moving the ball around a fair bit, and I think that's helping us, earn field position and make it a bit easier place to defend when they're coming off their try line.
Yeah. In the NFL, and I don't know whether how closely you follow that, but in the NFL, you're one side of the ball, right? You're either a defensive coach or an offensive coach, or defense and attack. You were defense at the Panthers. Do you see yourself as a defensive coach or an attack coach? And I know you've got Jason Taylor in on the coaching staff now, and I know he does some stuff with attack. Do you perceive yourself in some way or the other there, Cameron?
Oh, I'm definitely always going to think defence first.
Right.
But I was probably lucky. I did attack as an NRL assistant before I did defence, but it probably just reinforced, probably some principles around defence that I believe in, from thinking it from an attacking perspective. But I suppose, coming through as a coach, when you're coaching under 20s, you've got to do both sides of the ball, and that's a really good grounding for you. So, I'll definitely always lean towards defence and pick teams that I think can defend their way to a win. But there's definitely things I believe in attack that I want to see my teams play with, and part of that's just using the ball a bit more and playing to our strengths. And I really like how some of that's come through over the first 7 rounds, how we've had the ability to move the ball and pass it to someone in a better position. And I think our guys are growing in confidence and cohesion every week.
Do you think, is that a deliberate strategy on your part because that's how you want to play, or that's how you see the players you have wanting to play, or do you think that's a league-wide trend?
Oh, I think it's playing to our strengths as much as, I'd like to see a fair bit of ball movement, and JT's been really good coming in and giving the boys some structure and understanding about their roles and responsibilities, and he's been a great help to myself with his experience. But I think it's just us playing to our strengths as well. We've got some real speed out there on the edges that we want to use. We're not going to play like every other team. We're going to play the way we want to play, and it suits us. So I felt like there's been good signs of it so far. We haven't nailed it all the time, but for a team that's probably had 10 new players come into the squad this year, I feel like those combinations have been growing pretty quickly.
There's been a lot said about the left side of the Bulldogs, and obviously there's been some really good things there with Filiami Kikau. But Stephen Crichton now has gone to the right. Jacob Presson will be back for the next game. And Matty Burton seems to be going to the right with more confidence or more authority now. Has that been something that's been worked on in particular, especially with the Matt Burton? When there was a bit of pressure on you, Cameron, about, is Matt Burton a 5'8", and can he play both sides of the field?
Yeah, getting Birdo to get his hands on the ball as much as possible is a really important thing for our team. The more touches he has, the better we are as a team, the more dangerous we are, and that's been a bit of a work in progress for us. And I thought it looked its best on the weekend over the first 7 rounds, so that's exciting for us moving forward. But I think having Critter on that right side at the moment, and Presto when he comes back, and Connor Tracy's done a good job playing some of that side of the field as well. I think it's balanced us up really well. But I think the really important thing is our forward pack, who's pretty underrated, has done a really good job of helping us get down the field and really done a really solid job trying to win that middle of the park. And I know plenty of people had opinions on them at the start of the year, and they're not the biggest names in the middle, but they're working hard as a pack, and I think that's allowing our guys on the edges to see a bit more ball and field position.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about a couple of guys on the edges. Bronson Cherry has come back in, played a couple of games now. Feels like he's barely missed a beat, despite the fact he's been out of the game for 4 years. Are you as shocked as some as the impact he's made this quickly into his re-entry into the NRL?
Yeah, I am. Honestly, I didn't see him playing first half of the year when we signed him. I sort of thought it might be, the first year might be a bit of a slow burn, but it only took a week or two of seeing him train in the preseason to know that he's a pretty special talent. And he picked up things so quickly in the preseason and just has so much natural talent. But he's also put in a lot of hard work. He had 4 years there where he didn't do football training and he didn't train to be a footballer. He just, the fitness took a bit of time for him to get going, and he struggled pretty early in the preseason with some of the the conditioning sessions we had, but he just kept pushing himself through it and turning up, and got himself in really good condition. And start of the year, and he really pushed us in the trials to possibly be in that round 1 team. But we sort of held him back and got him to get through some minutes, in New South Wales Cup, and he did a really good job of that and earned his position a couple of weeks ago in our team, and he hasn't looked back since.
Josh Adokar, the other one, gone on a different diet. Apparently he only eats protein or only eats meat or whatever it is. He's 28 years of age now. Try scoring, no problem. But the carry, he feels like it's almost like he's changed his physical makeup. What have you made of Josh, his first couple of games of 2024?
Yeah, he had a bit of disrupted preseason last year, so I don't think he ever got back to full fitness. And this year he's turned up really good shape. He's actually probably 4 or 5 kilos heavier than last year, so he's worked really hard on his body and getting the training in. And again, probably a disrupted start of the season. I feel like he was pretty frustrated there. He had to come off in 2 games and a couple of injuries, but he's worked really hard to get himself back to full fitness. And him at his best makes us a really dangerous attacking team, and it's been good to see him get a few opportunities the last 2 weeks. There's no better sight or feeling as a coach when Josh gets in clear space or he's able to use that speed that he's got. So we're really excited that he's back on the field for us, and excited about what he can do and that combination he's building with Bronson.
A lot of people asking about Reed Marnie and what's going on there. You've asked for a please explain from the NRL. Have you got an answer on that one?
Not sure where that's at. I've left that with management, to be honest. We've been in meetings all day, so I'll have to chase up where that one is. But I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay.
A bit less said, the better on that one, I think.
Oh, is it just Reed not wanting to pay the $750, which is totally understandable too, by the way?
He's a pretty tight man, Reed, so I'm sure he'd be a bit flustered about that. But we weren't really sure what he did wrong, to be honest. So we're just trying to get some clarity on that. But we've moved on from it pretty quick too.
Roster spots. Are you done for 2024?
Are we roster spots? We do have one more spot left, and we've got plenty of money left in the salary cap, but we won't be rushing into anything like that. we're pretty patient. We believe in the guys we've got there, but if someone comes onto the market and they suit what we're trying to do, then we've got the ability to make that happen. But at the moment, we're just really focused on the guys we've got there. They're working really hard, very enjoyable to work with, and really happy about how they're improving every week.
Presuming no injuries, any particular position that you would look to fill?
Oh, not really, mate. Just no. We actually haven't spoke about it that much. We know we've got options there if someone becomes available that we think can help our team. But right now we're actually really happy with how our guys are gelling together, how much they're improving. We've got some young guys coming through the system. Some of our guys in reserve grade have been playing the house down there, and they're going to start pushing for first grade opportunities too. So we're really excited about that. I think we had 9 guys debut last year, and they were all better for the experience. And we've had Bailey Haywood debut in the last couple of weeks and has done an outstanding job, and I reckon there'll be a couple more in the near future too. So we're doing a great job in our pathways of developing a lot of good kids with the potential to play first grade and give them opportunity, and we're really excited about that, and really excited our SG ball team's in the grand final this weekend. So we're all pretty pumped about that, and I think there's some future first graders in that crew there.
Yeah, so that actually I was going to ask that question around first in Harold Matts, 4th in SG ball, but in the grand final, 3rd in the flag, and 4th in the New South Wales Cup and club championship last year, and on the way to doing it again this year. How important is that for you, Cameron, as far as future prospects of the club?
Oh, it's really important. That's that was part of the reason I thought this was a really good opportunity for myself to come to the club.
Oh,
I've always been good at putting pathways, systems in place, and I saw what he was able to do out at Penrith, and he had a pretty similar plan here at Belmore to put those pathway systems in place and get a lot of good kids in and give them the best coaching. And it's happened pretty quickly over the last 12 to 18 months. The improvement in those sides, and we're really excited about the future, but we're also very focused on the present and making our team improve every week and every day. And we'll enjoy the bye this week, and then we've got a tough run after that. We play the Tigers at home in round 9, so we're really focused on that. Looking forward to another home game. We've won all our home games this year, and on the weekend against the Knights was really good to have that home ground advantage and see a good crowd out there at a core, and hopefully we can get another big crowd out there against the Tigers in a couple of weeks' time.
Question from a listener. Wiley Old Dog says, do you see Blake Taff as a half at all? It's clear that the Rabbitohs didn't. What are your thoughts?
I think Blake Taff's a great player. I love having him in our squad. And I think he's done a really good job at fullback to start the year. He got a bit unlucky there. I thought he was having his best game until he got knocked out there against the Roosters, and it was lucky for us that Connor Tracy came in and did a really good job at fullback, and probably unfortunate for Blake that Connor played so well and kept his spot. But Blake's in our best 17, and we're just excited about him being in our football team, whether he's at fullback or possibly filling in the halves, or maybe at hooker at some stage as well. So, the thing about Blake is he's a quality player, quality person, and we're just stoked that he's in our team.
Now, we have James Magnuson, a.k.a. The Missile. He's a regular on the airwaves. He was on yesterday. He's an Uber fan, I would describe, of the Bulldogs, but he also feels like he's an Uber fan of Cameron Ciraldo. Just have a listen to this from yesterday, Cameron.
I walked past Cam Ciraldo on the weekend, and my missus was swooning over him. Reckons
he's
a
tall
sort.
as you?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah?
Almost. But she reckons he's a sort.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had you thought that previously?
Do I think he's a sort?
Yeah.
Haven't really thought about that.
Yeah.
He's no Kevy.
Okay, so any thoughts on that, Cameron, immediately?
That's nice to hear that. I haven't heard that in a while. Coaching's aged me dramatically, so I'll take any compliment I can get. My kids love to tell me how old I'm looking and the grey hair I'm getting, so any compliment's a good one at the moment.
Oh, well, there you go. Hey, even if they do come from a former world champion swimmer, you're going to take those. Hey, just before we let you go, Cameron, and appreciate how much time you've given us today. Dale Finucane, a former Bulldog, announced his retirement today, and again, it was around concussion concerns. Here's the interesting one from my point of view, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it, and that is that Dale is the type of player that every coach wants in his side because of the things he's prepared to do and put himself at risk. And how do we balance that up with the safety of the game and knowing what it looks like in the future? As a coach, how would you assess that?
I think it's really important. We coach a lot of that tackle technique in the junior system. I sort of feel like, Dale's an absolute warrior. As someone you'd love to coach. I was lucky enough to work with him in the country team a few years back, and he's been such a warrior for the game. Hopefully he can give back to the game as well. And he'd make a great coach, I think, himself, Dale. But I think it's a tough game. It's injuries happen and things happen. Getting away.
Oh, I think we have lost Cameron there. I did think at some stage during that interview he got up from the desk and started walking out, might have even opened up the car and started to get into that. So it was a long time there with Cameron Ciraldo, and he's dropped off. But there you go, peeps.